In London, on a night that was supposed to be just another chapter of the Champions League, Dutch football lived a nightmare. Stay tuned until the end of the video. Subscribe, like, and share. Chelsea, young, fast, and hungry, turned Stamford Bridge into a stage of destruction. And Ajax, the giant from Amsterdam, a symbol of technique, history, and national pride, was completely dismantled. Final score, Chelsea 5, Ajax 1. A thrashing that crossed borders, hurt traditions, and left an entire country in silence. Ajax fans, accustomed to seeing their team defy the impossible, eliminate giants like Real Madrid and Juventus, and enchant Europe with their bold attacking football, couldn't believe what they were seeing. On the pitch, Chelsea dominated with authority. With every pass, with every goal, the roar of the English crowd grew louder. While on the other side, the Dutch supporters watched in silence, stunned, unable to understand. By the end of the match, there was no anger left, only shame. On social media, Ajax fans vented, "This is not our Ajax. We've lost our soul. We no longer have an identity." Frustration took over the streets of Amsterdam. Bars and cafes that once vibrated with fast passing and beautiful football were filled with disbelief. Many didn't even wait for the final whistle. They turned off the TV before the fifth goal. How can such a sudden fall be explained? Just a few years ago, Ajax enchanted the world. It was a synonym for innovation, development, courage. Today, that same club seems distant from its own DNA. Chelsea's thrashing was the portrait of that decline, a team without control, without reaction, a victim of its own mistakes and the intensity of a ruthless opponent. And that's where the weight of this result lies. Fans don't just mourn the 5 goals conceded, they mourn what the defeat represents. The loss of identity, the feeling that Ajax stopped being Ajax. In the Netherlands, the mood is sadness and shame. The newspapers ran harsh headlines. Commentators spoke of a technical and moral collapse. And the fans are calling for a revolution. We can't live on memories anymore. Ajax needs to be reborn. The 5-1 thrashing wasn't just a Chelsea victory. It was an open wound in Dutch pride, a scar that will take a long time to heal. What we saw in London was more than just a football match. It was a message, cruel but necessary. Ajax, the club that once taught the world how to play football, must now relearn how to compete. Fans are still trying to understand, how did the giant of Amsterdam become a powerless spectator? How did the brilliance of the past turn into a shadow in the present? And it's from that pain, that shame, and that outrage that the Dutch press built its analysis. A cold, direct, and merciless portrait of the night Chelsea destroyed Ajax. Chelsea's 5-1 victory over Ajax at Stamford Bridge hit the Netherlands like a bomb. The Dutch press woke up in shock, describing the match as one of the darkest nights in the club's recent history. Dutch pride was shaken to its core, and the country's major newspapers didn't hold back their criticism. The traditional De Telegraaf, the largest sports daily in the Netherlands, opened with a harsh headline, "Pek Achtervolgt trainer John Heitinga, Luck haunts coach John Heitinga." The paper described Ajax as a soulless team, lost on the field and unable to react after Kenneth Taylor's red card in the first half. The text stated that the thrashing was not an accident, but the reflection of an Ajax without identity and leadership. For De Telegraaf, the defeat was more than a lopsided scoreline. It was the symbol of a giant that forgot how to compete at Europe's top level. Algemeen Dagblad, AD, was even harsher, calling the match a black night in London. In a tone of frustration, the paper wrote, "Gitzwarte avond voor Ajax op Stamford Bridge. Ploeg van John Heitinga compleet afgedroogd door Chelsea. A completely black night at Stamford Bridge. Heitinga's team was totally washed away by Chelsea." A D highlighted the players' passivity and the absence of any tactical response, noting that Chelsea, even young and in reconstruction, dominated the game with authority and intensity. Ajax was a shadow of its glorious past, wrote the newspaper, lamenting the gap between Dutch football and the current level of the Premier League. Het Parool, known for its close connection to Amsterdam, was blunt. Ajax was a mere extra in an English show. A team without direction, without confidence, and without pride, The paper said that the club's Martelgang, its painful journey, gained a new chapter in London, exposing the weaknesses of a disorganized technical project with no leadership on the pitch. Meanwhile, De Volkskrant described the match with almost dramatic tone. Ajax met kamikaze voetbal, hard onderuit bij Jong Chelsea, 5-1. Ajax, with kamikaze football, crashed hard against the young Chelsea, 5-1. The publication criticized the team's suicidal tactical approach, stating that Ajax played far too open, giving Chelsea spaces that were exploited with surgical precision. It was a lesson in intensity and high pressing, something Ajax once taught the world, but has now forgotten how to do, summarized the paper. Finally, Hart van Netherland focused on the emotional aspect of the disaster. Ajax outclassed by Chelsea after early red card. Chelsea after early red card. The outlet recalled that Ajax started the game well for a few minutes, but completely collapsed after the red card, ending the night aimless, uncontrolled, and without honor. The open wound in Dutch football. The echo of this thrashing goes far beyond the scoreline. In Dutch sports programs, former players and commentators describe the result as a red alert for all of Dutch football. According to many, the defeat highlights the loss of competitiveness of local clubs compared to the financial and tactical powerhouses of England. John Heitinga, Ajax's coach, became the main target of criticism. His insistence on an offensive playing style, even after being a man down, was labeled naive and stubborn. Fans, in turn, expressed anger and shame on social media, with many demanding a complete overhaul of the club's structure. From pride to humiliation. Just a few years ago, Ajax captivated the world with the football that eliminated Real Madrid and Juventus in the Champions League. Now that same shirt became the symbol of a humiliating defeat. The Dutch press was unanimous. The 5-1 thrashing was not just a loss, it was a cruel reflection of a fallen giant. Chelsea won. But for the Netherlands, that night will be remembered as the moment when Ajax looked in the mirror and barely recognized itself. And you, what did you think of the newspaper's headlines? Leave your comment below, like and share. A big hug and see you in the next video.